Young men are taking anabolic steroids at a rate of which we have never seen. The reason? The growing desire to look like the actors, models, and influencers who are successful, in large part due to how they look. There has been a crop of new influencers rising up who do hardcore promote the use of anabolic steroids. It has undoubtedly convinced a ton of young people to start steroids, especially when kids see their idols brashly advertising their dangerous lifestyle and reaping the rewards of clout, money, and fame. And that's why I'm investigating the teen steroid epidemic. So as far as my personal experience with steroids, it's pretty short-lived. I didn't take them for a long time and I didn't take a lot. Hence why I feel like I kind of wasted taking steroids because I wasn't able to use them to their maximum efficacy. I took them a little bit out of insecurity. Obviously, I want to be bigger. I want to be a more masculine guy, but also because I felt like it would make me famous. Now, this is similar to what a lot of people are doing online now. They're taking steroids, trying to get clout. I see a lot of kids doing this and they don't even get any views, and this can complicate their health. This can also complicate their minds. That was actually the reason I stopped taking steroids, is because one, I wasn't getting the physique that I thought I would get, right? Felt like my fucking shoulders would, get all wide, which they did, but no one told me I had fucking 40-inch waist, so it was fucking waist maxing. So, and then the other thing is I was going crazy, like mentally, my brain wasn't fully developed. I was developing these like weird character traits. I remember I was like all anxious and I was fucking angry and moody and like I was acting like a woman. I wasn't even taking that much stuff. I was taking, 400 testosterone, 25 Winstrol, I think. Bit of Anavar, like nothing really crazy. The other reason I stopped is because my dad found out what I was doing and he did not approve. So I stopped because taking steroids is not more important to me than my relationship with my dad. I think my dad's a bit more important than steroids. So right now we're gonna go to the gym and we're gonna interview some regular gym goers on steroids, their natural status, what they think on the current landscape of the fitness industry, and all that good stuff. All right, who am I with?
Zach.
Daniel.
Nathan.
Have you ever, or would you ever, consider taking anabolic steroids?
I have not. I can't say that I will not ever in the future, but as of right now, it's not something that I'm interested in whatsoever.
I have not personally ever considered taking anabolic steroids. The main reason why is because I've been inconsistently working out for a good period of time, so I don't think I'd ever consider it if I haven't made any of the natural progress that I think I can make.
I've taken SARMs, anabolic tests, D-ball.
Why did you feel like you wanted to take that step and indulge in those substances?
I was feeling very insecure. I felt small in the gym. I was working out for 7 years and I still looked like a toothpick.
You look pretty good, man.
No, I don't think so, but I appreciate that.
Are there any external pressures that make you feel like, hey, I actually need to take steroids at some point to reach my dream physique?
I would definitely say that there is pressure. Not that all the guys that are blowing up are on gear, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like the most trending thing right now is the Trent twins. They won their show. People know that they were on hella gear. Everybody looks up to those guys, and everybody at the top of the industry right now, for the most part, is on gear.
I would agree though that there's just a lot of images about big guys, expectations. A lot of it we kind of force onto ourselves after seeing these images.
My ex actually cheated on me with a really jacked dude. I'm pretty sure he was on trends. So I found a vial in my ex-girlfriend's bag and I took it. Ever since then, I knew I needed to take gear. It wasn't a want, it was a need in my life. So I hopped on gear.
What do you have to say for kids who would hop on steroids? Do you think they should follow in your footsteps, or do you think that maybe they should stay away and stay natural?
I think they should definitely follow my footsteps. I mean, even if you don't lift, it's okay to take steroids. It's good for your mental health, increased testosterone, better confidence, and you just feel better overall. You're more motivated, like you told me, remember?
There's like a big trend right now with like successful, influential men who are entrepreneurs. They're at least on TRT, like these older guys, and they think that you need to do TRT, you need to do this in order to be a successful entrepreneur as a man. And they should know that there's more to life than just the gym.
I think that at the end of the day, there's a lot of drugs that cause a lot of harm to your body that people actively do every day. There's bad daily habits. People who don't eat well every day and they don't know that. For example, the sugar that you have. There's a lot of things that could kill you. I think that at the end of the day, there are use cases. I think people that are really trying to push their physical limits, and that's something that's important to them. As long as they're using it within reason, I think that's important. And maybe for some people, if they have really bad body image issues and like that helps them, like you never know. It could be really useful, but people should really be aware of the health consequences before using it.
So before you guys worry about steroids, stop doing cocaine, or do both. But with all that being said, we left out a key component. with women. It's no secret that a lot of people started going to the gym so they could attract more women, and when that inevitably fails, they think it's because they're not big enough, causing them to use steroids. But do women actually want these supercharged physiques? Let's talk to some women to figure out what they think. Do you like guys who work out?
Absolutely. I love a guy that works out. I work out a lot, so I feel like I need somebody to kind of match that energy.
It's not a make or break thing. I don't prefer people that are completely out of shape. It's just the gym is a huge part of my life. It's part of my career as well, so I do want someone that can relate to that and has kind of the same sort of ideology behind that in terms of, you know, wanting to take care of themselves.
I mean, their physical appearance is important to some degree. I want my man to be able to like have the same level as me energetic wise, right?
Do they have to look like a bodybuilder or just someone who works out, or even just like a normal athletic person, like a soccer player?
I don't have like a standard in my mind, but just somebody who's physically fit, you know, doesn't have like a belly on them. I love some arm muscles on a man.
I do like somebody that is jacked. Like if I am in the gym and I see a guy that's jacked, in shape, you know, got a bit of the shreds going on, I'm attracted to that.
I would support him any way, shape, or form of whatever goal he wants to attain to.
I'm assuming, because this whole segment is actually about young male steroid use, my question is, could a guy on steroids be attractive to you?
I think a guy on steroids could be attractive if he's doing it tastefully. Tastefully?
I don't think that you need steroids to reach your goals, you know what I mean? Like I get it if you're like getting paid and you want to be like a professional bodybuilder, but for me personally, I don't like that. Like it's not something that I'm into. Any girl that truly, you know, cares about you and your overall well-being will just stick by your side and watch you get there. It is a process, you know, so you don't need to expedite that process with steroids.
Okay. Ow! Ow! Why'd you do that? Touching my fucking gyno, bro. Stop doing that.
You don't need to take steroids. If it's a personal thing where you're like, I want to just expand the potential of my physique, definitely dabble in it, be safe towards it. You know, it's a lot of medical things you need to take into consideration, but you don't have to do it together, girl.
No, I need really big muscles and really small testicles.
That's definitely unattractive. No, I'm kidding.
So obviously women don't necessarily care too much whether your physique is even that good. Seems like a lot of them were really worried about the side effects, and I mean, how could you not be? There's a lot. Right now, I'm gonna go in depth and show you just some of the physical manifestations of side effects, and then we're gonna talk to Coach Greg Doucette, a steroid legend, followed by Eric Janek, an absolute elite level bodybuilder. Firstly, this is absolutely unsightly. When I saw this, I literally threw up, but I'll give you a description of it because I don't want to show you guys a picture. It's literally like a flesh-eating bacteria in this bodybuilder's leg. He almost lost his leg from injecting infected steroids. So if you guys don't know, they're not kept in the best safety conditions. A lot of them are made really unsanitary. So what happens is bacteria collects inside the vials, and what happens when you inject them is you can develop, you know, a flesh-eating bacteria or some sort of infection that can kill you, or, you know, you'd have to potentially amputate, you know, a part of your body, which is definitely not ideal. We're bodybuilding, not body destroying. Next up, we have gyno. Okay, so this is female breast tissue that develops. As you can see, this is not a male breast. This is a female breast on a male. So how is gyno formed? Essentially, the aromatase enzyme turns, you know, your excess testosterone into estrogen, thinking you're a fucking woman, and you grow tits. Okay, I have gyno not from PEDs but from puberty. So this is very common during puberty, but it's also unsightly, and you don't want this if you don't have to. Again, for bodybuilding, not booby building. We have this guy. He's a regular fit dude, and he decided to take steroids. So what happens when he takes anabolic steroids? He turns into Mr. Pepperoni. He's got pepperoni all over his body. I'm not trying to make fun of him, but literally what happened to him. This looks absolutely disgusting. Guys, we're bodybuilding. We're not making pizza, and nobody wants this. But oh my god, fuck me. Oh my god. Shit. If he ever needs a snack, bro, he's just gonna fucking go on his back and take a fucking bite of that shit. It's disgusting. All right, guys, we are now here with Greg Doucette, and there's no PhD for PEDs, but I'm sure if there was one, this guy would have it. I'm wondering if you've seen an uptick in younger guys taking PEDs, or is this something just that people are seeing on social media, but it's not really statistically true?
There's absolutely, without question, more teenagers using steroids. It used to be so much harder to get it. I remember being a teenager. It was about 5,000 years ago, but I remember it. And it would have been almost impossible to get one. Now it's almost cool to say you're doing steroids. It's almost expected. And you have even influencers bragging about taking them. They're teenagers, and more people want to take it. What people don't realize as a young age is you're borrowing from your future. And so essentially you're trading off your older age for looking good right now. And people can't look ahead. Brain's not even done developing until you're 25. And so say you're 18 years old, you're thinking, I want to use steroids, but you're not thinking, well, at 40, I might get a heart attack. You're like, I want to look good now. The dopamine rush, the thrill of seeing your muscles get bigger, the fact that so many kids have body dysmorphia and they feel insecure, and so they just want to take the shortest way possible to feel better.
I'll ask you specifically about the mental side effects. How does your brain change on steroids?
Well, the first thing I think is that once you get on steroids, you do feel more confident. Like you feel like you can do things more effectively or better. But the problem is maybe you can't. So you might have more confidence, but you shouldn't have this extra confidence. A lot of guys take steroids and they think they can beat everybody up. Like literally, they'll be at a bar and they're looking for fights. So there's that increased aggression, and so people end up getting into more fights.
I think a lot of people are starting to like downplay the side effects of steroids in terms of, you know, the physical health ramifications, whether it's like liver, kidney, because they say, oh, the liver regenerates, or oh, check your blood pressure. Do you have any like stories, or do you have any examples of this potentially being a silent killer for people?
Well, yeah, sure. A guy died yesterday of a heart attack about an hour after bodybuilding. He was 26 years of age. He looked amazing. Heart attack. He didn't know there was something wrong with him. Wins, and he's dead. He had a heart attack. And so, yeah, absolutely a silent killer.
Do you worry for some of these kids coming up in the fitness industry, feeling pressure to take steroids?
There's so much pressure to look good, to fit in, to make money, to stand out. And steroids gives you that advantage. It simply does, especially if you lie about it. There's probably 1 million people trying to do the same thing, to be a fitness influencer right now. And who's going to stand out? The 1,000 out of the million that have the crazy voice like I do, from the parrot from Aladdin. People don't understand why I talk this way. It's like, why do you think I need to stand out from another 1 million other guys?
Well, Greg, it was a pleasure speaking to you. If you want to stay natural, Ecti Builder, Turk Builder, you already know where to get it. HDL.
You know what you want. You older guys. Teenagers, stay away. You're too young. Newbie gains.
All right, guys. I'm here with Eric, an extremely high-level bodybuilder, absolutely blowing up for his physique right now, and he looks fucking insane. Eric, what I'd like to ask you today is, you know, kind of regarding teen steroid use, because this is something that's prevalent in the fitness industry. A lot of people are potentially glorifying steroids, and they're using them at a rate of which we've never seen. But my question to you is, have you seen an uptick yourself in your personal experience as well?
Not to like age myself, but like growing up in the 90s and like early 2000s, like it was definitely like one of those things that you're like, oh, like don't do steroids. It was like the same type of movement of like, don't smoke cigarettes, and like they're gonna kill you. Steroids will kill you if you take like one injection. It was like something I never would consider. Like, I think what's happened is there's been a counterculture movement against all of these things being kind of demonized to now being almost like pseudo glorified, because it's like, it used to be, oh, it's gonna kill you, but now it's like, oh, it might kill you, but fucking YOLO, right? Like,
what are some physical side effects that you have seen when it comes to bodybuilding and steroid use?
Especially when I got into competitive bodybuilding, the cutting phase tends to be extremely, harsh, not only on your body, but also your psyche, because you're never lean enough. You have to suffer really hard. You're depleted. You go hypoglycemic. I literally almost like passed out in a fucking gas station trying to race to get a Gatorade in this most recent prep.
Obviously that's, when you get deeper in, but like surface level, when it comes to side effects, whether it's gyno or acne, have you experienced / seen people with these side effects?
100%. I've definitely dealt with gyno now. I've dealt with the impotence for sure. When the estrogen drops too low, especially in a bodybuilding prep, deal with anxiety when your hormones are so like unbalanced, your testosterone's so high and your estradiol is so crashed, you're inevitably going to start feeling very like low energy. I will say one thing though, if you decide to go down that road, do so in moderation. Do it in a way that like you're not blasting, like let's say blast and cruise or blast and then come off completely, because you're gonna fucking hate your life when you're not on.
Thank you to Eric. See you guys later. So we've seen the side effects. They can be bad. They can affect you mentally. Here's a guy screaming at the police because he's on trend.
Let me be quiet and go in my own house that I earned with my blood, my sweat, and my tears.
And here's a guy with fucking gyno. So if these are the side effects, let's talk to some people who will brave the side effects and intentionally risk their health to achieve elite levels in the gym. Behind me here, we have a national record holder powerlifter who has admitted to me that he uses steroids. Why are you willing to risk the side effects for the ability to utilize these performance enhancers?
Well, when you're competing at a top level, like everyone's gonna use it regardless. Obviously, that's not like a great reason to hop on, just like even the playing field, but in a way you kind of have to.
What kind of side effects did you notice while taking steroids?
I did notice my skin got worse. When you hop off, obviously you get the crash of energy and the withdrawals and all that. When you're on for so long, for let's say you run a cycle for 3-4 months, you start feeling the energy consistently. You wake up and you're good to go. So obviously once you come down and your hormones start to drop and level off where they were naturally or even lower, you start to miss that energy and that pump in the gym, and you kind of just, everything feels a little worse.
So what kind of cycles were you taking to enhance yourself in powerlifting?
Testosterone's obviously the most basic. You'll throw in some D-bol and Anadrol from like the orals. They're pretty tough on your liver and kidneys, so you don't hop on them for too long. And then obviously the classic trend is just an all-around whatever you want to do, that's what helps you. But I don't take it. I've done maybe 2 cycles with it and it just screws with my head too much.
What do you mean it screws with your head? Like you start to want to fuck dudes or what?
No.
You sure?
I'm 100% sure.
We are here with Mark Sandor, a competitive bodybuilder and someone who makes his living in the way of bodybuilding in terms of fitness coaching and, getting up there on stage and doing all that good stuff. Firstly, we'll just start out with your age and kind of what led you to bodybuilding.
So I'm 21, and what originally led me into...
Oh, you're 21?
Yeah, I'm only 21, bro. You didn't know that?
34.
34? Yeah, these things, it's not wrong what they say. These things age you for sure.
That gear really does age you. Fuck
yeah.
Me. Jesus.
I actually wasn't into bodybuilding at all. I was just into the gym and training. Like, I always played sports growing up. So, once you turn like 18, 19 and you realize you're not going to go pro, you're like, fuck, now what do I do? So, luckily my brother was already into working out in the gym and he was like getting pretty jacked. I saw him, I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to go with him. And then I got into the gym, got into working out, and I didn't compete for like probably 7 years after I started lifting. So, yeah, it was a while before I actually started competing seriously.
Do you feel like you could have done bodybuilding naturally?
I did start off doing natural bodybuilding. Once you get a little older, you just realize like natural bodybuilding is just kind of gay. Like, for lack of a better term, who the fuck wants to watch natural bodybuilding, bro? Like, nobody. That's why you get no exposure. That's why, go to a natural bodybuilding show. There's like 30 fans in the seats.
What was the determining factor in you taking that leap and taking steroids? Was it for bodybuilding or did you have ulterior motives?
I was like 25 or 26. I was fresh out of 2 years of my business probably lost like 70% of my income, just, everything shutting down. And I was like, I either need to just fucking do this shit already, take steroids, like see what happens with my career, or I need to look for a new job. I wasn't willing to quit until I hit at least 10K a month. I didn't hit 10K a month at that point, and I was like, I'm not quitting until I do this. I'm gonna try everything I can in my power to make this work. Taking PEDs is just, I felt like was honestly my only option at that point. I decided to roll the dice, and luckily it ended up working out for me.
A lot of people have expressed the opinion of, I'm gonna take steroids because I'm gonna become famous or I'm gonna have financial gain. And they look at steroids and it's like, okay, this is a tool I need to get to that next level. Is that kind of how you felt? You didn't really see it as some like moral qualm? Because some people have like actual legitimate issues around taking steroids and they take it like personally if you're unnatural.
I have no moral qualms about taking steroids. I don't really have moral qualms about doing any drugs. Like, it's your fucking body, do what you want.
But he's about to rip some meth after this.
do you think that it'll be worth the potential health consequences down the line?
So that's the thing, like right now, I would say it is worth it. But if I have a heart attack at 43, I'll probably have a very different answer.
And I guess the last question is, do steroids get you more bitches?
I hate to say it, but I think they do, bro.
Steroids get you more bitches. Stay unnatural.
Just to give you an idea of how prevalent steroid use is in modern times, it was reported that 2% of high school seniors are taking performance-enhancing drugs, which might not seem like a lot, but think about it. That's high school seniors. 2% of high school seniors, that's 2 people for every 100. 25% of steroid users start before the age of 20. Guys, your brain develops at 25. The fuck are you doing taking steroids? This shit made me retarded, bro. Deadass. 48% of young steroid users did not believe that taking steroids posed a significant risk, which obviously it can pose a serious risk. It can also not pose a serious risk depending on how you do it, depending on your duration of exposure and what exactly you're taking. But 48%, really? It's a little scary to me, honestly. 70% of teens believe that access to steroids was no issue. They easily got steroids through the internet or through a friend. And yeah, this is a growing and concerning topic. So as you guys have seen, social media has really exacerbated steroid use among young men. And a lot of people are starting to do them because, you know, they want to get more jacked and they don't care about the side effects, or they don't even know about the side effects. And again, it's being glorified and shown to them online. But overall, guys, I just wanted to make this video to show you guys the side effects of steroids, to explain that, you know, steroids are being used to a much higher degree than ever before, and just to be cautious because I fucking care about you guys. And I know a lot of people who watch me are thinking about taking steroids or are about to or are on them anyway. I'm not trying to tell you what to do because obviously, like I've expressed, there are valid reasons for using steroids if it's going to further your career and whatnot. Yeah, that's it from me. Appreciate you guys. Buy my merch. Selling like a god church.